Mike Giardi, is that an accurate portrayal of you, that open we play?
It's emotional. I love it.
Okay, all right. So what do you think about this football game this week at Gillette Stadium? I guess we'll start with James Cook, the running game, Josh Allen, whatever you think of whatever's going on post by Patriots. What is the first key to this game that you're breaking down in your brain?
So I think there's going to be a little bit more pressure in this game than maybe we saw in the last one in terms of teams dialing up the blitz stuff. Ooh. And then to me, who handles the chaos better? Is it going to be Josh, who thrives in it, or is it going to be Drake, who has proven that he thrives in it? Like, which guy is going to have the better day against some of the looks and maybe not make the mistake? We know, in those situations, pressure, you might throw one off your back foot and not get enough on it. Who makes the mistake?
And Mike, the Bills' defense is kind of coming under fire. It hasn't been that good, but the kind of the bright spot has been their secondary, but in particular, cornerback Christian Benford. And it is, looking at your timeline here on Twitter, it sounds like he was walking around in a boot today, which is kind of insane. If he's doing that today, I believe this today that you tweeted this, then to me, or was it yesterday that he did? If he's not playing or not available or just not 100%, what does that mean to the Buffalo Bills defense and secondary?
I think it's massive because I think he's turned out to be their best defensive player. Which, pretty impressive for a 6th-round kid out of Villanova a few years ago. But, he sort of developed into that guy. And I'm not saying he's we talk about number one corners. I don't know that I'd put him in the same category as a Surtain or a Horn, or people want to put Gonzalez in there, those sorts of things. But he's in sort of that next tier, and he's traveled a lot recently. They didn't usually do that. They did that in recent weeks, and he handled Jamar Chase pretty well. Chase wasn't the problem against the Bengals. It was Higgins. So, he's really elevated, and if he can't play or if he's impaired, that'd be a big problem for him because, like I said, he's made a lot of plays for them. He was Defensive Player of the Week a couple weeks ago. He probably should have been this past week, but Josh won the Offensive Player of the Week award, so I don't think they wanted to have two Bills guys. I don't know. He's really good, and I think that would be a huge blow for what they do.
Yeah, looks like he was wearing a soft shoe or something. It's a toe injury, and I guess his status is up in the air, so that could be huge for the Patriots. Mike, as far as the offense goes, which pass catcher do you think is going to have to step up in the face of, Hairston's coming along, maybe Benford plays? Do you see this as a wide receiver game, a Diggs game, or maybe a tight ends game?
I think this is a Diggs game. I think this is what you got him right for. I think we saw what it meant to him in Buffalo, which – I was talking about it this week. It was kind of funny because if you remember leading into the game, it's it's a big deal, and then I know some of the guys over there, but it's any other game. And then as soon as the game was over, he's losing his mind. He does the Instagram live. Patriots PR has to tell him we don't do that in the locker room. And then he comes in and talks to us in the press conference afterwards. He's like, well, it wasn't that big of a deal. No, it was. It matters, and I think this one will matter too. The fact that it's potential hat and T-shirt game. He's already talking about, you guys don't think we're the favorites and that nonsense. I think it's a big Stefon Diggs game.
Mike Giardi, Boston Sports Journal, here on WEEI Afternoons, as he is every Friday. So there's sort of two layers to look at the two offenses. You have the Bills' rushing attack, which is phenomenal. They average 5.1 yards per carry, but they give up 5.1 yards per carry. Are the Patriots suited at any point to take advantage of one of these bad rush defenses that they face? Could this be the week where we're saying, all right, they finally got 200-plus yards? Is that a factor in this game?
I wish it was, but don't you feel like at this point, if you're not good at it, you're probably not going to be good at it.
Probably.
This may be a team that Henderson, last time we saw him, he had a 26-yard run against the Giants. Ramondre ran, pretty well physically, but they're just not that sort of team. They're not built that way up front. At least they haven't played that way. And Will Campbell's probably their best run blocker, and obviously he's not available this week. So, I feel like we probably said 5 or 6 times this year that they've had an opportunity to run against one of the worst run defenses in the league, and then we come out of it going, they couldn't run. Yeah. So to me, it's still going to be, can you do enough there? It doesn't have to be awesome, but can you do enough to at least keep them honest? And then you work the play action off it, and we know Drake's been fantastic off play action this year.
So, Mike, a lot of talk this week about, how do you defend Drake Maye, which I do find kind of to be a fun and fascinating topic. Is a lot of teams have yet to figure out how to stop the kid. You wrote an article yesterday in the Boston Sports Journal titled "Maye's ability to decipher disguises is a critical element to Sunday's game." And I wanted to read the article, and then I scrolled down, and it says, "Account is past due. Please verify your payment methods." And I was just wondering, is there a code that you can give me to get a discount? But so I can't.
Yeah. Teddy, hit me up offline. We'll take care of you.
All right, thanks, bud. So I can't read the rest of the article, so I don't know what you said. So can you just give me kind of the synopsis on that article? I'd be curious what you found out as far as how do teams, defend him, or what is Drake doing that is helping him decipher these defenses?
Yeah, I think Teddy, he's been so good, and he's come along so fast, and his ability to not just the pre-snap read, but then, when you turn your back and play action, the picture changes, and to be able to instantly, in that moment, pick it up and know, oh, actually, they dropped this guy, or, they were showing the.
Mike, we got you.
Yep. I'm still here. I haven't moved again.
We lost you for a second.
I love when he yells at us like it's our fault.
Well, it was like you said something, and I was like, oh my God, I think he just totally forgot his point.
Right.
I think he's
he's having a senior moment.
Yeah, I was like, maybe I don't know if he can do these interviews anymore.
Now don't move and keep talking.
Right there.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. I was going to say, he's done such a good job pre-snap identifying what they're doing, but also the ability post-snap, especially when you're doing play action and you turn your back.
Yep.
That he's able to pick it up instantly when he turns his back if the picture changes. And that's something that the Bills do as often as anyone. Josh McDaniels was sort of talking about them last week. He's like, yesterday rather, basically like nobody does it better than them. They're really connected and they disguise. And, Josh went a little over the top. He's like, everything they do well. We just talked about their run defense. There's things that they don't do well, but I get it. You don't want to give them any bulletin board material, but Drake's been really good at that. And then I think obviously the connection with McDaniels and being able to have more answers. And there have been times this year, and just the Giants game I thought was a perfect example of that, where you knew they had a fierce pass rush. You knew your left side was diminished because of the injuries, and he attacked the flats and took what they gave him. And then, eventually they start to adjust, and then bingo, he hits, big play there, a big play here. So his growth this year has been remarkable. And it's interesting, too, Ted, because one of the things that in researching the story, and I know Phil Perry got some grief elsewhere about saying maybe he's close to indefensible, but he's got 100 passer rating versus pretty much every coverage. And if it's not 100, it's 90 plus. And the only place that he's struggled, and it's a negative EPA, is in the red zone and against cover zero. And so, look, can teams go crazy cover zero? I guess they could. I guess they could try to dial it up 15 times a game or something. I think someone did that to Lamar Jackson a few years ago, and it was like, oh, they found his kryptonite. And then 6 weeks later, they tried it again, and it was like, no, he killed them. So I don't think you can live in that. And everything else is something that he's done well against. Single high safety, the split safeties. It's just, again, remarkable. The growth of this quarterback, who's just 23 years old and has not been hasn't started full 2 seasons yet. It's nuts.
Hey, Fitzy, let me jump in real quick.
Yeah.
So, Mike, it's a great point about them blitzing. They blitzed him a lot when he was doing those play actions in the first game, and he had a perfect passer rating while they were doing that. So he has his back turned, just like you said, and there's blitzers off the edge, and he had an answer for a lot of those blitzes. So, which I thought was kind of remarkable to see, considering they were 2-2 at that point, and he wasn't playing his best football. So I just wanted to highlight that point. That was a really good point to make. Just him being able to decipher what the coverage is when he has his back turned. Go ahead, Fitz.
Yeah, Mike, we make so much about, Josh Allen. He can be a Superman at any given moment. James Cook in the rushing attack. But to me, I think a sneaky aspect of Buffalo's plan Sunday might be their tight ends, because Kincaid is back and healthy, and he's a real weapon. Dawson Knox, underrated, and that Haas guy who caught a touchdown last week is an absolute run-blocking hoss as well. How do you think the Patriots will try to account for the Buffalo trio of tight ends, given that, you're always worried about where Cook and Josh are in any given play?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because I think if we learned anything from the first time they played, Buffalo had been a heavy personnel and loved to going to shove it down your throat. And in the 3 weeks prior to playing the Patriots in week 5, Cook had gone over 100 yards. And then the Patriots did what they had been doing for the first 2 months of the year, right? Not allowing a running back to get over 50 yards. But in that game, if you remember, the first series, the Patriots for the first time, I think, in the entire season, Tonga in the middle, Barmore and Williams flanking him. Then you had your normal edge guys, Chase on it and Landry, and 2 linebackers, sometimes 3 with Tavai, because that was his first game back. And it was like, we're not going to let you push us around. We're going to make you go to plan B. And if there's a criticism of Joe Brady, their offensive coordinator, is sometimes he doesn't have a plan B. So I would expect sort of a similar approach in terms of the run game. Like, we're not going to let you shove the ball down our throat, keep the ball out of our quarterback's hands. We're going to make every effort to hold you down. And yes, Josh is awesome and can be Superman, but like, we'll take our chances with that with his diminished receivers. Like, Kincaid was good in that first game, but I don't know. I don't know if he's someone you fear. I don't know if they have anyone in the receiving core that you fear. And I think you can see situations where, okay, got to have it up there. Well, maybe this is where you slide Christian Gonzalez over the top, or it's Davis, whoever you feel comfortable with in that spot. So it feels to me like that's a big check plus in the Patriots' favor in terms of their DBs covering any of the Bills' wide receivers.
Okay, put your arm up in the air and hold some tin
Like
foil
you
before you
care.
go. And real quick, tell us what's going to happen in this game before your phone craps out.
I'm going to take the Pats. I'm going to say fairly comfortably. Let's say somewhere between 7 and 10 points.
Oh, I like the confidence.
Real quick, in that, let's just say that happens. How are teams looking at the Patriots? They've beaten the Bills twice. It's really their toughest competition all season long. How's the country perceiving the Patriots after that win?
Say that the schedule is not tough enough, but again, you can only do what you can do. Like, we'll go into Baltimore and we'll be like, well, Baltimore is not what we thought they were. Well, if you go into Baltimore after you beat the Bills this week and beat Baltimore, still a damn good win.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, Mike Giardi, enjoy the big game this weekend. Enjoy some snow that's coming our way, and we will talk to you next week.